Hi, Ron from Clarity. Today we're going to talk about maintaining your HIPAA audit trails with these 5 essential keys. Let's dive right in. Number 1, log every administrative and user level activity that happens on your system. Remember the examples I gave you in a couple previous videos about insurance fraud, right? When Dr. Bob went and changed my type 2 diabetes to type 1 and then changed it back so I could go get life insurance. Those types of things for bad practices can also protect you when somebody comes to try to sue you because they claim you gave them a medication that was bad, and you can go back to your logs and say, no, our doctor only prescribed this medication and this dose on this date. You've been using it. It was a different doctor. You went out and got Oxy or something else at a different doctor and did not notify us. Not only can they protect from malpractice, they can protect yourself from fraudulent suits. So log every administrative activity, especially those involving any transactional movement of PHI or adjustment of PHI data. Number 2, preserve immutable backups of system activity logs. What do we mean by immutable? Those that can't be changed. So even if you have a central, regularly accessible log that's close on your server for your privacy or security officers to go in and audit and have readily available access, you may also want to have a third-party off-site system getting a permanent tape backup or off-site backup so that they can't be destroyed or they can't be deleted or protected or stolen, or if a malware occurs, you can restore and get your data back. So immutable or tamper-proof might be a better word. Tamper-proof backup. Number 3, scheduling periodic reviews for log integrity checks. You're gathering all these logs, somebody should be going through and reviewing that. Now, who should be doing that? If you remember one of our previous videos when we talked about ongoing HIPAA compliance, we talked about the third-party tools like Accountable HQ, and there's other tools up on the HHS.gov website. One of the compliancy things that the Accountable tool has is your assignment of a privacy and security officer whose responsibility it is to ensure that the protocols and policies that your team has put together to maintain your HIPAA compliance are being followed. They may delegate or they may be the one to go through those logs, but somebody needs to go through the logs. Somebody needs to be checking on that. Number 4, storing all the logs in a secure time sync repository. You need timestamps. You want everything in there. You want to know who did what changes when. That will help pull out unusual traffic, unusual activities. Why did somebody at 3 a.m. go in and prescribe triple the normal dose of OxyContin? That seems odd. Things like that, right? And that's just a simple example because I couldn't come up with a better one. This is aside from that immutable backup that we've got. This is the locally accessible backup and log access for your administrators. So if somebody complains, somebody says, hey, something's going on, immediately they've got access. They can go into the system, they can check the logs, they can find out what's going on so they can mitigate the issue and get you running again. Number 5, create an automated alert system. What if they only go in and do those audits every 2 weeks, and yet you've got a problem 3 days into that 2 weeks? How do you know about that? Well, you should set up some routines and some alerts that track and report on things like unauthorized login attempts, recording the IP address, the date and timestamp, how many times, how many failures to log in. And we covered this in a previous video, but for all administrative access to any UIs at all, any application UIs, implement multi-factor authentication. So any login attempts or password changes that occur that fail, any attempts that don't pass the multi-factor authentication, make sure to record that. You should be recording every single login and timestamp anyway. You can even record their IP log. So it looks like somebody from Ron's account accessed at 3 a.m., but it's from an IP address over in Europe. Ron wasn't in Europe. That's probably fraudulent access, and somebody got a hold of his credentials and or his phone so they could pass the multi-factor authentication challenge. So again, here's the 5 quick review. Log all user level action for all PHI data transactions. Number 2, preserve an immutable backup of all system activity logs and potentially all data, right? You might want a daily or a weekly backup off-site so that if anything happens, malware, you've got a backup. Number 3, periodic reviews of the logs for integrity checks. Number 4, storing all the logs in a secure, time-stamped, and localized place where your privacy and security officers have immediate access. And finally, number 5, create an automated alert system to track and report on unusual access attempts. That's the 5 things to maintain your HIPAA audit trails. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.